Dr. Jackie never expected her story to explode online. She wasn't chasing attention. She was a respected professional who had stayed silent for too long. But when she finally spoke, her voice shook with emotion. She whispered, "He used me." In that moment, the world listened. The man she described was David Mann, a well-known gospel singer and actor, admired by millions for his faith, loyalty, and devotion to family. People couldn't believe it. David and his wife, Tamala, had been seen as the perfect couple, strong, loving, and deeply Christian. But Jackie's revelations painted a very different picture, one of deceit and heartbreak. This wasn't just another cheating scandal. It was a story about manipulation hidden behind kindness. And it all started with a chance encounter at a charity event in Atlanta. Jackie, an expert on women's health, had been invited to speak. David was there with a choir performance. Their introduction was brief, a handshake, a laugh over a shared friend, and an exchange of phone numbers. Jackie thought nothing more of it. The next morning, David messaged her. "It felt comforting, your words moved me yesterday." Their chat seemed innocent at first, kind check-ins and gentle compliments. Soon, their conversations deepened. David shared feelings of isolation and his growing distance from Tamala. He admitted that, while they appeared united in public, behind closed doors they felt like strangers. Jackie, then grieving the death of her father, found comfort in his shared vulnerability. David never pressured her. He didn't shower her with gifts or flattery. He simply listened. He made her feel important again. Late-night voice notes led to heartfelt morning messages. He quoted scripture and bared his soul. Jackie began to lower her walls. She had long felt alone, and David seemed to understand that. She didn't fall for him quickly, it was gradual, like water cutting through stone. He shared that he and Tamala were separate for appearances, that they'd grown apart. Jackie wanted to believe him. He then invited her to private dinners. She rationalized it, maybe this was okay. She stayed cautious. But David had a way of putting her at ease. He moved slowly, earnestly, and when they shared their first intimate moment, it was gentle and meaningful. Jackie said it felt like she was finally cherished for being herself. But love that hides isn't love. The truth began to unravel. Lies crept in, weekend travels went unexplained, late calls suddenly stopped, and vague answers left her uneasy. Jackie ignored her doubts, afraid to seem insecure. Then the hotel incident happened. They were leaving a casual venue when a fan spotted David and asked, "Where's Tamala?" He brushed it off, laughing, but Jackie's heart sank. That night, she Googled him, a step she had avoided out of respect for their trust. What she discovered shattered her. David and Tamala had appeared affectionate just days ago at a gospel benefit, with photos captioned, "Black love lives here." Jackie felt betrayed. Humiliated, she confronted him, asking whether he really planned to divorce Tamala. His answer wasn't a lie, but it wasn't truth, either. "I didn't want to hurt you," he said softly. That's when Jackie realized this wasn't love. It was about control and ego. Then came money. Jackie hadn't just given emotional support, she helped him with finances. A few $1,000s for his tour, backing for his media project, plus introductions to her network. But nothing ever came back. Empty promises. No updates, no gratitude. Just silence. Even worse, a friend in the music world revealed David had done this before, secret emotional affairs wrapped in spiritual talk, and financial help that went nowhere. Jackie wasn't unique. Just another chapter in a repeating pattern. That realization burned. When she ended things, David didn't fight. No apologies, no explanations. He simply disappeared. That silence was confirmation. He had used her. Months passed. Jackie buried herself in work, therapy, and faith. She began healing. But then she started receiving messages from other women. Confidential phone calls. Each person shared the same pattern: emotional intimacy, spiritual promises, a taste of something real, then distance, silence, heartbreak. Jackie decided she couldn't stay quiet. She didn't want revenge, she just wanted to speak the truth. So she shared her experience, hoping to raise awareness and protect others from similar hurt. She hoped her words would be the end of this cycle. Now, the world watches. People are shocked, angry, and divided. Some defend David, saying maybe Jackie's story isn't complete. Others support her courage, grateful she spoke out. But a lot of us are asking, what really happened behind the scenes? And what does this mean for people we hold in high regard? Jackie has no answers for David's silence. She doesn't know if he'll respond or apologize. She only hopes that by being honest about her pain, others will feel empowered to share theirs. She wants to show that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's strength. This story is far from over. David, if he chooses to speak, could offer answers. But for Jackie, the journey continues. She's rebuilding her life, stronger and more self-aware. She's determined to use her voice, not for fame, but for change. Her mission now is to remind everyone that success and spirituality don't start with celebrity and fame, they begin with truth, kindness, and respect. So here's where we stand: a respected doctor speaks out, a beloved gospel star falls under scrutiny, and the truth remains unfolding. What will happen next? That part of the story hasn't been written yet. She needed answers. So instead of staying quiet, she did something bold. She sat down and recorded a podcast episode. No script, no edits, just her truth. Her voice trembled, but her message was firm. This wasn't just a failed relationship, she said. It felt like she had unknowingly played a part in a performance, while someone else directed the story. The response was immediate and powerful. Her episode spread quickly online. It wasn't just about who she was talking about, it was how deeply people connected to what she said. Women from all backgrounds flooded the comments with their own stories. Many had felt the same kind of pain, being misled by someone who seemed kind, or being manipulated under the cover of faith and affection. They related to her more than she ever expected. Still, not everyone stood with her. Some fans of David and Tamala came after her, calling her bitter, accusing her of wanting to ruin a marriage or get attention. She was labeled a liar, a clout chaser, even a fake believer. But Jackie didn't argue. She stayed grounded. She knew her story was honest. She didn't need to convince everyone. David didn't name her publicly but posted a cryptic message that read, "They'll turn you into the villain when you stop letting them take advantage of you." People guessed it was about Jackie. Tamala didn't say anything directly, but fans noticed her social media changing, fewer couple posts, more solo content. Quietly, she even unfollowed Jackie. The church community itself seemed torn. Some pastors defended David, saying no one is perfect. Others spoke in support of Jackie, applauding her strength. Gospel blogs couldn't stop talking. Was this the end of the perfect image David had built for years? Or was this just a temporary scandal? For Jackie, none of that mattered anymore. She wasn't chasing attention or trying to destroy someone's life. This was about healing and finally being free. She created a private group for women who had faced emotional manipulation and spiritual abuse. She started writing a book, part memoir, part call to action. In one therapy session, she told her counselor, "This isn't about exposing him. It's about standing up for myself." And that's what she did. Over time, the pain that once weighed her down became the foundation of something bigger. People invited her to speak, on other podcasts, at women's events, and faith-based gatherings. She stopped mentioning David by name, because she didn't need to. The story had grown beyond him. It was now about any woman who had ever trusted someone who wore the right mask but hid the wrong motives. Privately, Jackie still struggled. At night, shame would creep in. She questioned herself, was I too trusting? Should I have seen the signs? The self-doubt lingered, but she didn't let it win. She reminded herself that being open-hearted is not foolish. Being kind isn't weakness. And being used doesn't make someone unworthy. If anything, it means her heart had value, someone just chose to misuse it. David, on the other hand, stayed quiet. No interviews. No clear statement. Just polished photos and vague quotes. His public presence slowed down. Fewer stage appearances. His once loud supporters became more silent. Tamala's online content subtly shifted, more of her, less of them. It was clear things were no longer the same. But Jackie? She didn't fall apart. She didn't fight dirty. She didn't seek revenge. She simply stood firm in her truth. Real truth doesn't have to shout, she said. It just needs to stay standing. And that's exactly what she did. Yes, she was hurt. Yes, she had scars. But she was still standing, stronger, clearer, and more empowered. Her experience didn't just make headlines, it sparked real conversations. About trust. About emotional abuse. About how spiritual words can be misused to manipulate people who just want love and safety. This wasn't just a drama, it was a mirror. One that showed how easy it is to hide behind a public image while hurting someone privately. Jackie made it clear, she doesn't hate David. She even prays for him. But she no longer protects him. And that change, from silence to truth, is what set her free. She told her listeners, I thought I needed closure, but what I really needed was clarity. And now I have it. In the end, this was never about tearing someone down. It was about rising again. And every woman who heard her story understood, they weren't just listening to Jackie's experience. They were hearing their own, too. And this is Pop Links.